Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's Garrett, tears2joyministries.org. I praise God for all of you, my brothers and sisters. And for those of you who haven't accepted Jesus yet into your heart, I love you too. Well, this video is going to be called, Is There Anybody We Can Trust? Now, a long time ago, I was a member of this worldwide ministry. This is just a really powerful ministry. This is a ministry that God is using to spearhead this end-time church. And I was one of their members. I had been one of their members for many years, actually. And when I was going through some very, very difficult times, I remember one of our other members was communicating with me on the internet. In other words, we were emailing back and forth, sending messages back and forth. This was a woman, and she was trying to help me during these very, very difficult times. And to make a long story short, she just disappeared on me. She just stopped saying hello. She stopped emailing me anything whatsoever. And many months went by. I never heard from her. And then after a couple months of her just completely disappearing, she sends me a happy face. I mean, she disappears for a couple months after we're talking every day. She's a fellow member along with me. And after hurting my feelings and after feeling rejected, she sends me a happy face. Well, that kind of bothered me. So I wrote her back something like, hey, you don't say hello anymore. You don't answer my emails. You don't answer my messages. And you just completely disappeared on me for a couple months. Now, out of nowhere, you just send a happy face. I mean, it would be so much nicer if you just said hello, or it would just be so much better if you were to just ask how I was doing, or show some concern, or show that you cared about me, or show some love, some sisterly love, of course. But anyway, I can't quite remember what she said back, but basically she just dumped me. That's basically what happened. So I asked one of the elders to give me a call. Now, this ministry is still up and running. God's using them in a powerful way. They get millions of visitors on their website. They're really doing things. I mean, they're really out there doing things. So, okay, this ministry is up and running. I don't want to use his real name. So let's call this elder John. We're just going to call his name John. So I email John and I say, hey, are you able to call me today? So a couple hours go by. And he calls me on the cell phone. And after saying hello and everything else, I went on to explain to him, I said, John, hey, one of our other members has dumped me. I mean, she's treated me kind of badly. And I wasn't sure what to do about this. I mean, I trusted her. We were talking. We were going over issues in my life. She was praying for me, and it was really helping. And now I can't trust her. I don't know what happened. And this is when God decided to teach me something I had not learned before. So John went on to explain to me, Garrett, there's nobody you can trust. Well, people, I haven't heard that before. I mean, maybe you guys have, and that's awesome, but I hadn't learned this before. Honestly, I'm just being honest with you. This was like 6-7 years ago or whatever. I hadn't learned this before. So he said, Garrett, there's no one you can trust. And I said, John, what do you mean there's no one I can trust? And he said, when it comes down to it, there's no people you can trust. You shouldn't be trusting her to begin with. And I said, John, are you also saying that we can't trust Christians? I said, is that what you're saying? Because I hadn't heard that before. And he said, yes, you cannot trust Christians, And I was having a hard time believing this. I was having a hard time accepting this. I hadn't heard this before. I hadn't heard this belief before. No one's talked to me about this before. So I said, John, are you telling me that there's no Christians on earth we can trust? And he said, exactly. There's no one you can trust. And I said, okay. I hadn't heard that before. Okay. So there's no Christians on earth we can trust. Anyway, God was doing something in my heart. God was doing something in my mind. God was giving me grace to understand this half-an-hour talk that we had on the phone. And then I said to John, now I'm not going to name the name of this ministry. They're still up and running. They love the Lord. They're trying to help people all over the place. I don't want to mention their name. So I said, John, are you also telling me that there's nobody in our ministry I can trust? And he hesitated for a second and said, that's correct. And I said, wait a minute. John, you're telling me that no one in our ministry I can trust at all? And he said, yes, that's true. And he went on to explain it with different Christian principles and different stories and this and that. Well, I got grace from God and I believed him and I understood what he was saying. Then I said, John, are you telling me I can't trust you? Now, this was one of the main elders of the ministry. This guy knows the Bible 10 times better than anybody else I've ever met, anyone else I've ever heard of, anyone else I've ever seen on the internet. So I said, John, are you telling me I can't trust you either? And he hesitated and he stuttered for a second and he said, that's correct. And we talked about it for a few minutes and he would tell some stories. I can't quite remember what he said. I can't repeat it, but we talked about it for a couple minutes. And basically, I accepted what God taught me through John, and I believed it. I got grace. It sank in my heart, and I understood it. And we hung up the phone. Well, this was a long time ago. This was about, I don't know, maybe 6 years ago. It's hard to say, maybe a little less. Do you know what God has been doing the last 6 years? He has been teaching me this over and over and over and over again for 6 solid years. In fact, he's been teaching me this my entire life, just like he has with you too. So with lesson after lesson, with experience after experience, with the Holy Spirit helping me to remember things in my past, God has been teaching me, you know what, Garrett? Not only is there nobody on earth you can trust, but you can't even trust yourself. And God would have me go through these terrible experiences where I would let myself down, where I would hurt myself, where I would betray myself, where I would make bad decisions, where I would do bad things. And God was teaching me, Garrett, you can't even trust yourself. And boy, was he right. I can't trust myself. I cannot. So as the years would pass by, and God was giving me experience after experience, teaching me, no, you can't trust your family members. No, you cannot trust fellow ministry people. No, you cannot trust any of your Christian friends. He showed me in experience after experience after experience with different Christians and elders and pastors and prophets and everyone else and Christian friends, and especially myself, with experience after experience, no, there's no one you can trust. There is no one on earth you can trust except God and His Christ. So what else has God been doing? Well, He's been sending people the last 6 years to say hello to me on the internet who are also battling this very difficult topic. You see, He sends men and women and teenagers and even young people to talk to me on the internet about this very topic. About, hey, Garrett, can I ask you a question? Can I trust my pastor at church? Hey, Garrett, I've got a new Christian girlfriend. Can I trust her? Hey, Garrett, this prophet gave me this message on the internet. Can I trust him? Hey, Garrett, I'm thinking of joining up this new church down the block. Can I trust them? And over and over and over again, I've been sharing people all over the world that, number one, there's no human being on earth you can trust. Not your parents, not your brother and sister, not your pastor, not any prophets, not any evangelists. There's nobody famous on TV we can trust. There's no Christians on the radio we can trust. There's no Christian book authors we can trust. And I've been sharing this with people. And what it does is it sets them free from getting their feelings hurt over and over again by trusting Christians. There's no Christian on earth I trust. You see, we all make mistakes. We all mess up. We all fall down. We all sin. We all use manipulation in one way or another. We all have faulty beliefs. We all have a faulty theology of the Bible. All of us do. We're all corrupted. So I wanted to make this video with God's help. I want to make it clear to you. You cannot trust your pastor. You cannot trust your brand new Christian boyfriend. You cannot trust your Christian friends. And God is going to show you that you can't. God is actually going to make sure that they let you down, that they break promises, that they break your heart, that they hurt your feelings, that they make you cry, that they let you down in different promises and break promises, etc., etc. God is going to show you. There's no one you can trust except His Son. Except His Son, Jesus. There's no one you can trust. And God is going to be the one to make sure that they keep letting you down. God is going to pound it into your heart and into your brain over and over and over again that there's no one you can trust. And it's going to hurt. And you're going to get your feelings hurt, and you're going to have to cry sometimes, and you're going to have promises broken, and you're going to be betrayed by family members, loved ones, friends, and Christians also. And you're going to be let down. I want to make it clear to you. There is no human being on earth you can fully trust. No, not one. And if you are, you're going to get your heart broken. If you are fully trusting in people, you're making a terrible mistake and you're going to get hurt. And you're going to get hurt badly. I don't care if they call themselves a Christian. That means nothing to me. I don't care if they say they believe in God. That means nothing to me. They're all going to let you down. They're all going to betray you in one way or another, and it's going to be God who makes sure this is happening to show you that you can only put your hope in Him and His Son Jesus and no one else. God is going to be teaching you over and over again that you can only fully trust in Him. That it's only safe to fully give all of your heart, all of your soul, all of your mind, and all of your strength to God and His Son Jesus. And that everyone else is going to let you down in one way or another. Not only that, you are going to let yourself down. Every single person on earth has let themselves down from time to time, including you, including me, and including all the famous Christians too. We have all let ourselves down on a semi-regular basis, and we got to tell the truth about this. We got to admit it, and there's no hiding this. There's no beating around the bush on this topic. Not only are there no Christians we can trust, but we can't even trust ourselves. The only person you can really trust is God, and you gotta learn this. You gotta get grace and understand this. You need grace from God to understand this, so you stop getting your feelings hurt, so you stop getting crushed by other people letting you down, so you stop getting heartbroken by other Christians breaking your heart, making you cry, breaking promises, and everything else. Children of God, there's no one you can trust here on earth. So stop doing that. And don't trust in yourself either. Do not trust in yourself either. Put your trust in God and His Son Jesus and the Holy Bible, the very best you can with the grace God is giving you. Now, someone might be thinking, well, Garrett, when I meet a new man or a new Christian woman, how can I get married if I can't trust them? Listen, people, what we're talking about is you cannot fully trust people. There's no Christian on earth you can fully trust. You cannot fully trust yourself. So when you meet a brand new man or a brand new Christian woman, you trust them to an extent that God gives you grace to do. You trust them a little bit, knowing that they sin, knowing that they mess up, knowing that they make mistakes, knowing that they're gonna fall down, knowing that they're gonna backslide, knowing that they're gonna break promises to you, knowing that they're gonna hurt your feelings, and knowing that they're gonna break your heart. You got to know that going into the relationship. Why? Because there is nobody on earth you can fully trust. No human being whatsoever. I pray this video is going to help you to learn this, so you stop getting your heart broken, so you stop having these false expectations of people. So you stop having these false ideals of what a Christian person is. There's no Christian person on earth you can trust. And there never will be, and there's never gonna be. The only people you can trust are God and His Son Jesus, and nobody else. I pray God's going to give you grace to learn this. I pray God is going to give you experiences to go through this I pray God is going to give you real life examples of how you cannot trust anybody, including yourself. But then I pray God is going to use you to teach someone else this. That God is going to use you to help spread the word all over the internet that there's nobody we can trust except God. Stop putting your trust in mankind. Stop putting your trust in your pastor. That's a terrible mistake. Stop putting your full trust in your brand new Christian girlfriend. That's a terrible mistake. Stop fully trusting your Christian friends. They're all going to let you down. They're all going to break your heart. They're all going to break promises. All of them. Only God and His Son Jesus can be fully trusted. I pray God's going to hold you tight and lead you to His Son Jesus closer and closer and closer. And I pray God is going to give you grace to understand this video. And I want you to know that I love you too.